Welcome to our webinar entitled Get Ready to Sell Air, and in this webinar we're going to demo the website for you. Primary goal is to learn how to sell air the easy way at Centralivecom. Along the way I want you to gain confidence in selling air safely and to learn how to make money doing it. But the first question perhaps you're asking yourself is, why should I even sell air tickets? It's not why I got in the business. I'd rather sell something like a tour or a cruise or a destination that I'm excited about, and I'm just not excited about air, and there are a lot of headaches involved. Well, if you don't sell air tickets, your high-end clients are going to tend to drift somewhere else. In fact, most of your clients aren't going to want to buy a cruise from you and then have to buy the air ticket somewhere else. So it's important that you sell the whole deal. Also, you can make more money selling air tickets. You know, the average commission that we send out from Centrav to a travel advisor is $110 per booking. That's the average. The range of profit per ticket is between $20 and $2,000. It's a pretty big spread. I'm going to talk about that more in a few moments, show you where you can find deals, where you can make more money, and where you need to be more conservative in your markup. We'll get to that in just a few moments. So how can Centrav help you sell travel? Centrav is the easy way to book air tickets. It's our desire to take the headache out of selling air. We know it can be difficult, but we want to do the hard part and make it easy for you to sell an air ticket. We're offering international and domestic tickets. The international tickets are consolidator fares, cruise and student fares, published fares with commission and without commission. With domestic tickets, it's just going to be published fares, no commission. There aren't any deals offered by consolidators for domestic tickets. So you're basically going to see the published fare that your client can see. But in every case where there's a published fare, you can add a service fee as well. A little bit more about your profit. 3 words you're going to see on Centralivecom are markup, commission, and service fee. It's important to know those terms and really get a full handle on what they mean. A markup is going to occur when there's a net fare, like a consolidator fare, a cruise fare, or a student fare. It's set by you, it's unlimited, and it's hidden in the airfare. So this is a great place where you can make significant profit. A commission is offered on some international published fares. That amount is predetermined by Centrav and is hidden in the airfare. So the good news is that your client can't see it. The bad news is it's already predetermined, so you can't change it. But you can still add a service fee on top of it. Service fees are set by you, but they show as a separate charge on the client's credit card statement. That's really important to know. Your client's going to see that, and they're going to know that's your profit. As for your profit, it's direct deposited within 2 weeks of purchase, and you can protect it in case of cancellation. So you can always protect your profit. Well, how much do I charge? That's a good question, and perhaps your agency has given you some guidelines for that, so I'm not going to try to tell you how much you can charge. But here's some thoughts to think about if you're not used to doing this. Compare the consolidator fare with the published fare. If our consolidator fare is $500 lower than the published fare, that's a good opportunity for you to make some significant money. Your client can't buy consolidator fares from Centrav. We don't sell direct. Another question is, are you bundling this with a land or cruise package? Then you might be able to pop in some more profit on this. Or are you getting a commission on a published fare? In that case, part of your profit is hidden and the service fee can be added on top. They won't know about your commission. And finally, it's just understanding your client, the relationship you have with them. So with published fares, domestic, I'm always thinking low service fee because the fare is low. It may be $200 round trip. You can't put a big service fee on a $200 airfare. With an international published fare, maybe you can bump that up a little higher because your client's paying $1,000, $1,200, so maybe a $60 service fee is more reasonable to them. With consolidator, cruise, and student fares, that's where you can make a moderate to even a high markup because it's hidden from your client's eyes. And oftentimes our fare is much lower than the published fare, so you've got a big room to mark up. Quick word about denied credit cards. You want to avoid the headaches of an expired fare, a booking canceled, or wasted time on phone calls. Credit cards get denied usually because the bank isn't used to seeing a large charge come through, like for $4,000 or $5,000, so they just deny it. They want their client to call them and say, yeah, it's okay. So ask your client to call their bank ahead of time and clear this charge so it doesn't get hung up. Because if that fare gets expired, we oftentimes can't do anything about it. It may go up several $100s and then your client is out of luck. Schedule changes. We will let you know. Even if it's a minor change, you'll get an email saying that schedule changed by a few minutes. With major changes, we're going to research that and give you some options so you can discuss it with your client. We want you to know you can book low-cost carriers on Centrav.com. Southwest, JetBlue, Frontier, Spirit, Sun Country. They're all there. They're published fares. You will be able to add a service fee to those. It's nice to know you can service your client with those if they need them. Centrav is going to vet every transaction as best we can, but we don't have client contact, so you have the final responsibility to vet each transaction and each customer. If it's someone new to you, watch for these warning signs. If they want to travel last minute, they're not concerned about price or schedule, those are red flags. If you try to vet them further and you find they have a phony looking website or email, they use a suspicious phone number, address, or credit card info, or they get anxious or pushy about ID verification, they're trying to ram this through quickly and don't want you to vet them, those are reasons to be concerned. They might still be legit, but you want to raise those red flags when you see these warning signs. Well, let's take a look at Centrav.com. If you look along the top here, I'm going to encourage you to take a look at resources in particular. Lots of information here that's very helpful. You can see who our airline partners are, learn about refunds and exchanges. In particular, take a look at the articles section here. We've got a lot of information about air travel, destinations, running your business. If you go over to Facebook and follow us there, you'll see all of the articles that we put out, usually a couple times a week, to help you get better educated with air travel and what's going on in the business. Also the knowledge base up above here, I'm clicking on that. We've got two sections, one for COVID-19 travel questions and then our regular Centrav knowledge base. Here we've got answers to a lot of your questions about how to use Centrav.com. These are all short videos, maybe about a minute long. And we can hit the logo in the upper left corner and get back to Centrav.com. So along the top here we've got a search tab, a trip builder, and a group request. Group request, you can just fill that out, click the button, and that will go right to our group department. They'll research some options for you and get back to you right away with a quote. The trip builder is kind of a complex tool that I recommend using a different way than this, but you can actually put in city pairs and dates and it will show you flights without prices. You can build your itinerary one flight at a time and then price it. But I'll show you another way to use that tool in just a moment. The search tool has a round trip, one way, and multi-city, and 4 cabin classes to choose from. To do a search, you can just type in the city code or start typing the name. So if you know the city code, type in SLC for Salt Lake City, or begin to type in the name and you'll see the code come up and you can click it, drop it in there. Let's take this one to London, departing sometime in September. You can type the date in. You notice how I did that, 22 September. You can type it in backwards or forwards. Use the calendar that you see instead if you want to look at it that way. Put in the number of adults, children, and infants, and the fare types. If they're on a cruise, check that box. If they're a student, check that box. You can ask for a non-stop flight, and you can exclude basic economy fares. Often a good idea if you've got people traveling together and they don't want to be seated all over the flight. A great one to add in is maximum connection time. I like to put in like 6 hours. That way you'll avoid the long layovers and forced overnights. Minimum connection time if they need extra time in the airport, and you can search by flexible outbound or inbound, and even ask for a particular alliance if you want. Click search, And we get a matrix back here with 500 fares displayed. So the matrix shows you the fare types: consolidator, commissionable published, and published fares with no commission. When you see the green, that means there's a commission offered. You can always add a service fee on top of that, but that one's built in on the published fare. Otherwise, you're going to be adding a markup to your consolidator fares or a service fee to your published fares no commission. If you want to see a particular airline, such as Delta, you can just click that and that will pop to the top right here. Unclick that and they all come back. You can sort these fares in a variety of ways with this filter, or go along the left here. Lots of options here. Hide changes of airports. If I click that, it eliminates 75 fares that would have had an airport change in the itinerary. You can always hit the reset button to put the filters back to the original. You don't need to search this again. Connection cities, you can select the ones you want. Connection time, you can slide that both ways. And airlines, select the airlines that you want to see. And finally, the slider tool at the bottom is great if your client needs a specific arrival or departure time. You can slide this back. Let's say they're on a cruise. Cruise leaves in the afternoon, need to get there by noon. There you go. Same on the inbound flight. That cruise is coming in the morning. We don't want a morning departure on the flight, so let's put that back here somewhere. And that will eliminate some of the itineraries that you don't want to see. And it will always show you how many of the fares are still displaying. Hit the reset and those all come back. I mentioned the Trip Builder tool and that I've got a better way to use that for you. That involves the edit button right here. In order to use that effectively, what I recommend is go back to change search and use the stick pin customize routing. Let's say you want to do a stopover, and I'm going to pick Chicago O'Hare just to make it simple. You can force the routing on the outbound and or on the inbound. With that in place, I'm going to click search fares again, and this time I'm going to force my routing through Chicago O'Hare. So that gives me itineraries that only go through O'Hare on the outbound. You notice the red, we've got an airport change. I don't really want that, so I'm going to use this tool on the left here and hide changes of airport. So now I can see my lowest fare going through O'Hare is going to be on American Airlines. So that's pretty simple. To get a stopover, I'm going to click Edit, and that brings me over to Trip Builder. Trip Builder works like this. I've got an active itinerary right here. I'll remove the first segment, Salt Lake, Chicago. Click one way and search Salt Lake, Chicago, but on a different day. I'm going to do the 20th September. Get American Airlines, search that. Now I've got several flights to choose from. I'll pick this one and it will drop that right in where it's supposed to be. So now I've got Salt Lake O'Hare, O'Hare London, but with a stopover in Chicago. I can scroll down and set all flights to lowest economy, premium economy, or business class. Exclude basic economy. I can even change the number of people traveling. I can add a different fare type if I want, and click price. This will price it as both a consolidator fare and as a published fare. Now keep in mind that sometimes these fares don't allow a stopover and it won't price. In this case it did, so I've got a consolidator fare at $11.81 cash, $12.22 credit card, published fare is at $17.80. So this is the one I want right here, and I would click book on that. I can scroll down here, put in the passenger name, other information, and click book on that. When it comes to spelling of names, I can't emphasize enough that you get it spelled right the first time. The best thing to do is grab their passport or have them scan it over to you so you can see it and put it in exactly the way it is on the passport. First name, middle name, last name. If there is no middle name, then you can leave it blank, but make sure you get that exactly matched. In some cases, if there's a code share flight, we can't actually change the name, or if we do, it'll change in our system, but it won't go through to the other airline system. In other cases, it's really expensive or costly to try to change a name, and the time and labor involved is really extensive. So the best thing to do is just match that passport exactly, and you can avoid the headaches. So let's go back and look at some more detail again. Just taking the first one on top here, let's take a look. We can see some code share flights going on here. Those are good to avoid because name changes are often impossible with a code share flight. But sometimes it's the best price, so you just have to be careful to spell the name correctly, match the passport spelling, and you should be okay. We can open this up and see more details. Notice it's got something in yellow over here, markup limit. You can add a service fee separately, but I really don't understand what that means. I'm going to do show more details. Gives us a better explanation about it. If you choose to add a markup that exceeds the markup limit, a 3.5% fee will be added to the total sale when paying with a credit card. We've got some baggage policies here, seat assignment information, and everything's broken out here and spelled out so you can see the names of the city and the airport. You can see the miles, the aircraft. So a lot of great information here for you to see. I'm going to patch in an update about a recent change we've made to the website. If you click on show more details, you can now see how many bags are included or if they're not included in this airfare. But everything you book lands in My Bookings. That's the tab way above here. Let's click on that and I'll show you some examples of My Bookings that I have and show you how to make payment on those. So you can see here all of the bookings that I've ever made are loaded in here. They don't get purged out, so you can always go back and look at them. Mine are all showing canceled status basically, but if they were ticketed, it would show you that. Here I'll show you the examples. Need payment, payment received, ticketed, refunded, canceled, all statuses. You can also filter by name or booking number or date. So if you've got somebody that's traveling, you know their name, you can't find it, just pop it in there. You can change your date range here too and go way back and look at bookings from yesteryear. Well, let's take a look at one of the bookings here. You click view next to that one. So here's some information that you can go over. The reference number, validating airline is Delta. We've got the airfare, names of the passengers, a place to add frequent flyer numbers. You can pop that in for each one. The itinerary down below, and you can do seat assignments on most of these. If you click on that link, it will drop you over to the airline's website and load that in. So I'll click that. When we get over to Delta's website, we can click select seat and do seat assignments right there. Seat maps are usually only offered within 90 days of departure, so outside of that you won't see this link. In addition, if it's a foreign flag carrier, they don't usually allow us to jump to their website like this. So in that case, you can take the airline reference number, go to their website, log in, and do seat assignments there. Keep in mind that seat assignments are not always allowed on codeshare flights, so if you've got a codeshare booked, you can check with our staff. They can look it up and find out for sure. So down below we see where the worksheet is for adding your profit. Notice that credit card markup limit. Some of these are pretty low, so you might see those pretty low. In that case, you have an option to either exceed the markup limit or do a service fee. I'll show you those examples, but a simple one would be if you're wanting to make $100 on this, save changes. We go up to the top, we can see our worksheet has changed on top. We've got airfare at $12.36 and then a markup of $100. Traveler price is $13.36. Profit is $100. When you go to pay for that, if you've got electronic payments set up, we're only going to withdraw the net amount, $24.72 for 2 people, and you're going to collect the gross amount from your client to get your profit. If you're paying with credit card, it says $26.72 will be charged to the card. So you've got a $200 profit for 2 people. We'll direct deposit that into your account within 2 weeks. If we choose this option, we can go in and put in the credit card info, and this amount will be charged to the credit card. The descriptor on your card holder statement. Now this is important. In this case, the airline will determine it, so it'll just say Delta Airlines on that. And if your client wants to pay with separate credit cards, check this box. And now you can pay for the first traveler with their card, and you can pay the second traveler with their card. You can have 9 people on a booking and 9 credit cards. But it must be one form of payment per person. You can't split the charges over 2 cards for one person. Well, that was a simple example. Let's go back to the booking summary. Again, we've got 2 people on the record. So what happens if the markup is too small? We can go beyond it. I can put $150 here. Whoops, $1,500 is too much. $150 on that one. And I can hit Save Changes. I get some warnings there that I've exceeded the markup limit, so there's a 3.5% fee on the total sale. And that means your client's price for the airfare is going to increase. That markup is still hidden from their eyes, so you can literally make that whatever you want. $400. Still hidden from the client's eyes. It just increases the amount of the sale, and there's a 3.5% fee on the total sale. Another way to do this is to set the markup limit at 137 and match the markup limit, and then go into here and add a service fee, maybe $20 there. That'll change the picture just a little bit. It now says we've got this amount charged by the airline for the airfare and $40 charged separately via P4MT for service fees. P4MT is just the service we use to charge credit cards, and that will show up on their credit card statement in addition to another descriptor. So let's take a look at the worksheet up above. We see the airfare at $12.36. Service fee is $20 per person. Your markup $137. Remembering that service fee is visible to your client, markup is not. So let's go down and take a look at choosing this option, and I want to show you the descriptor. So this is a different look. We've got this amount being charged by the airline for the airfare, $40 charged separately. If we use one credit card, it's going to be one charge. Use 2 credit cards, it'll be $20 per person on each of their credit cards. But you get to choose what the descriptor is for that service fee. You can call it an air booking fee. You can say air and the record locator, or you can have it say your agency name. You just check the box for whichever one you want it to be. Okay, I want to go back and look at a different type of fare. Let us go back to my bookings, and I'm going to click on the United because that is a published fare. Commissionable published fare. Whether it's commissionable or not, it operates the same way when you pay for it basically. It's just when it's not commissionable, there's going to be no commission. So let's look at that down below here. If this was a non-commissionable, that would be 0 right there. But you still got a box for service fee. If the $88.80 is sufficient for you, no problem. Just go in, choose this option. It says $1,200.26 will be charged to the card. I'll click that. Put in the card info. The airline determines the descriptor. It'll say United Airlines on their card statement for this amount. So again, commission or markup, they don't see that as a separate charge. But let's go back and see what happens if you need to add a service fee. If this was really small, maybe $20, or if it was 0, you'll want to add a service fee. Let's add $30 here. Save changes. Let's take a look at our worksheet up above. It's always nice to do that. Airfare at $1,200.26. Service fee is $30. Your profit is $118.80 because your commission is in there too. When we click on this, choose this option, we've got a warning right here about that, of course, that it's broken out, 2 charges. But I'll click choose this option and go down again. And we can see we've got that option to choose one of these 3 for the descriptor, and that applies to that $30 service fee once again. The $1,200 charged by the airline for the airfare. Okay, I want to show you some more tools in my bookings. Over on the right here, we've got a place to pay for it, of course, which we looked at. You can cancel a tentative booking anytime you want, or just leave it and we'll get it with the auto cancel tool. You can make another booking like this one. If I click that, it will actually clone this itinerary exactly. So if you got another person going, you can make sure you get them on the same exact flights. You can send this itinerary to Trip Builder and change it. Contact us. And then these receipts are really great. So you can send off a quote to your client. This is the best way to do it. I'll click on credit card price on this one. We can see the total traveler price is shown here. Doesn't break it down for them. Up above, we've got a place to add messages. You can copy in what we recommend. This is what we have seen to be very helpful for your travelers. You can use that, or you can modify it or say whatever you want yourself. You can add in the rules. And then down below we see all this information here. The penalties and rules you see here are fairly vague. To get the actual rules, you would just take the record locator for this booking, go on Centralivecom and put it into live chat. Then ask us, what are the penalties to change or cancel for this booking? We'll spell those out for you, actual penalties, actual rules. Then you can decide what you want to say to your client over here. For example, if it's a $200 cancel penalty, you can tell them it's a $300 cancel penalty so that when the booking is canceled, we'll be able to push $100 in your direction. When it's ready to go, you can print this off, you can download it, or send it as an email to your client. We've also got an agent receipt tool. That's great if you want to just keep a copy for yourself. You might have noticed my little wing on that previous one here. That's where your logo is going to show. So you want to get your logo on your profile. Easy to do. Just go over to your name up in the upper right corner, if you can see that on my screen. Click that and then click My Profile. And that will give you a place to upload your logo from your desktop, and it will be stored on your profile going forward. One more tool to be aware of for agency owners and managers. If you want the ability to see all bookings in your agency, you notice I have an extra tab here. I can set you up as an admin. Just email Greg, G-R-E-G, at Centralivecom, and I'll set you up as an admin so you can see all agency bookings in your profile. If you need to change a ticketed booking or cancel a ticketed booking, you don't need to call us. You can just go into that booking and click View. And over on the right now you have some new options. Request a change to this booking. If I click that, I can cancel it, I can exchange it for something else, I can correct the travelers' names, I can even request a refund. One other button to be aware of is the void button. That doesn't show here because we're outside the void window. It would be right here if you could void this ticket. You can void a ticket within 24 business hours, really by the end of the next business day. Ticket anytime on Monday or purchase it on Monday, we'll take it at same day, and you can void it by Tuesday the next day, end of the business day. Same thing if it's on Friday. If you buy a ticket on Friday, you've got till end of business day Monday to void that. You'll see a button right here. If that void button is not there, it can't be voided. If you have any questions for us, you can always reach us via live chat in the lower right corner. Click that. It's a really quick way to get a hold of us. Otherwise, call us at 800-874-2033. Thanks for watching the webinar. Remember to follow us on Facebook so you can get all of our articles and up-to-date information.